Imagine waking up tomorrow before the rest of the world. No notifications, no noise, no pressure. Just you, your thoughts, and a decision that could quietly transform the next 10 years of your life. Most people believe success begins with talent, luck, or opportunity. But the truth is far simpler and far more challenging. Success begins with the first decision you make each morning. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is often measured in the first hour of the day. If you have ever wondered why some people seem to move steadily toward their dreams, while others remain trapped in the same routines year after year, stay with this message until the end. Today, you will discover how adopting the 5 a.m. mindset is not about waking up early for the sake of waking up early. It's about becoming the kind of person who creates opportunities instead of waiting for them, builds discipline instead of excuses, and wins the day before most people even open their eyes. By the end of this speech, you will see why one simple morning decision has the power to reshape your confidence, your habits, your income, your health, and ultimately your future. The morning is the birthplace of discipline. Every sunrise presents two invitations. One leads back to comfort, and the other leads toward growth. The people who consistently choose growth understand something that most never learn. Discipline is easier before the world starts making demands on your attention. At 5 a.m., your mind is fresh, your energy is focused, and your decisions are still your own. This quiet hour becomes a meeting between the person you are today and the person you want to become tomorrow. Instead of rushing into chaos, you begin with purpose. Instead of reacting to life, you prepare to lead it. The greatest victories are often invisible because they happen long before anyone else notices. Every successful day begins with a successful morning, and every successful morning begins with one courageous choice, getting out of bed when comfort whispers for 5 more minutes. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they underestimate the power of consistent daily choices. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches you that every morning is an investment account. What you deposit during that first hour determines the interest your day will pay back. If you invest in learning, your knowledge grows. If you invest in planning, your productivity multiplies. If you invest in exercise, your energy increases. If you invest in gratitude, your attitude changes. Small actions performed consistently become extraordinary results over time. Success rarely arrives through one dramatic event. It is quietly built through hundreds of ordinary mornings where nobody is watching, applauding, or rewarding you. The reward comes later, and it always belongs to those who were willing to prepare before they were recognized. The 5 a.m. mindset is not really about the clock. It is about ownership. Many people wake up already behind because they allow circumstances to control them. They begin their day by checking messages, worrying about problems, and reacting to everyone else's priorities. The person with the 5 a.m. mindset reverses that pattern. They decide their priorities before the world decides them. They create instead of consume. They think before they speak. They plan before they act. They strengthen their body before facing stress. This habit creates confidence because every morning becomes proof that you can keep promises to yourself. Self-confidence is not something you receive. It is something you earn through repeated acts of self-discipline. Every time you rise when you promised you would, you send a powerful message to your subconscious, I can trust myself. There will always be reasons not to wake up early. The bed feels warm, the weather feels cold. Yesterday was exhausting, tomorrow seems far away. Excuses are creative, convincing, and endless. Yet every excuse has a hidden cost. Every delayed morning postpones the future you claim to want. Every broken promise weakens your belief in yourself. Successful people understand that comfort is expensive. It demands your dreams as payment. Temporary discomfort, however, is an investment that pays lifelong dividends. The alarm clock is never the real challenge. The real challenge is deciding whether your future matters more than your present comfort. When you make that decision consistently, you stop negotiating with excuses and start building a life that reflects your highest standards instead of your lowest emotions. Finally, understand that the greatest gift of the 5 a.m. mindset is not simply achieving more. It is becoming more. You become more disciplined, more intentional, more resilient, and more confident with every sunrise you choose growth over comfort. Your circumstances may not change overnight, but your character will. And character is the foundation upon which every lasting success is built. Every remarkable achievement begins with an invisible habit that few people admire until the results become impossible to ignore. The morning belongs to those who are willing to prepare while others are still sleeping. The future belongs to those who repeatedly win the first battle of the day. If you can master your mornings, you will eventually master your days. If you master your days, you will shape your years. And if you shape your years with discipline and purpose, you will ultimately shape a life that others only dream about. The morning is the birthplace of discipline. Every sunrise presents two invitations. One leads back to comfort, and the other leads toward growth. Most people think success is built in the spotlight, but the truth is that it is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. The first decision you make after your alarm rings says more about your future than almost any decision you will make for the rest of the day. When you choose to rise at 5 a.m., you are making a statement that your goals matter more than your excuses. You are telling yourself that your future deserves your best energy, not the leftovers after a busy day. Those early hours offer something that is becoming increasingly rare in today's world: peace. Before the phones begin to ring, before emails arrive, before social media competes for your attention, there is a window of opportunity where your mind belongs entirely to you. This is the perfect time to read something that expands your thinking, write down your goals, reflect on your purpose, or simply sit quietly and prepare yourself mentally for the challenges ahead. These simple habits may not seem dramatic, but repeated every day, they create extraordinary results. Discipline is not developed by doing what is easy. It is developed by consistently doing what is necessary, especially when you do not feel like doing it. Every morning you choose action over comfort. You strengthen your ability to make better decisions in every other area of your life. The confidence you gain does not come from motivational words. It comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. Remember, every successful day has a beginning, and that beginning is your morning routine. Win the first hour, and you dramatically increase your chances of winning the entire day. The habits you build before sunrise eventually become the foundation upon which your success, character, and future are built. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they underestimate the incredible power of consistent daily choices. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect mood, or the perfect moment, believing that one big breakthrough will suddenly change everything. But life rarely works that way. Great success is not built through occasional acts of excellence. It is built through ordinary actions repeated with extraordinary consistency. That is the lesson behind the 5 a.m. mindset. Every morning is like opening a brand new investment account. The question is simple. What will you deposit into it? Will you invest your first hour in growth, or will you spend it carelessly and expect remarkable returns later in the day? Imagine beginning every morning by reading 10 pages of a valuable book. That may not seem significant today, but after 1 year, you will have completed dozens of books and filled your mind with ideas that can transform your career, relationships, and financial future. Spend 30 minutes exercising each morning, and your body becomes stronger, your mind becomes sharper, and your energy lasts longer throughout the day. Take 15 minutes to write down your goals, and you constantly remind yourself of the direction you have chosen instead of drifting wherever circumstances take you. These habits are small on their own, but together they create a powerful momentum that compounds over time. Success follows the law of accumulation. Every positive choice adds another brick to the foundation of your future. One disciplined morning may not change your life, just as one missed workout will not ruin your health. But repeat either decision hundreds of times, and the results become impossible to ignore. This is where most people quit. They expect immediate rewards for consistent effort, and when they do not see instant results, they abandon the very habits that were leading them toward success. The person who embraces the 5 a.m. mindset understands that today's effort is preparing tomorrow's opportunities. They are willing to work without applause, improve without recognition, and grow without immediate rewards because they know that every investment made in themselves will eventually pay dividends. The future is always purchased one disciplined morning at a time, and those who consistently invest in themselves become the people others admire years later. The 5 a.m. mindset is not really about the clock. It is about ownership. Waking up early is not a magical formula for success. The real power lies in deciding that you will take control of your life before the world has a chance to control it for you. Every day, people wake up and immediately hand over their attention. They reach for their phones, scroll through social media, answer messages, and react to other people's priorities before they have even considered their own. By the time they begin working on their dreams, their best energy has already been spent. The 5 a.m. mindset breaks this cycle by placing you in the driver's seat from the very first moment of the day. When you rise before distractions begin, you create space to think clearly. You are no longer rushing from one task to another without direction. Instead, you become intentional. You decide what matters most. You organize your day instead of allowing your day to organize you. That single shift changes everything because successful people understand that time is not managed. It is directed. If you do not direct your time with purpose, someone else will gladly fill your schedule with their own priorities. This early hour is also where confidence begins to grow. Many people believe confidence comes after success, but the opposite is often true. Confidence grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. When your alarm rings and you get out of bed despite feeling tired, you prove that your decisions are stronger than your emotions. When you complete your morning routine instead of making excuses, you strengthen your self-respect. Day after day, these small victories create an unshakable belief that you can rely on yourself, even when life becomes difficult. The greatest competition you will ever face is not with another person. It is with the version of yourself that seeks comfort over progress. Every morning gives you a choice between those two identities. One version delays, complains, and waits for motivation. The other acts first and allows motivation to follow action. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches you that leadership begins with leading yourself. Before you can influence your family, your business, your career, or your future, you must first learn to govern your own habits. When you consistently own your mornings, you begin to own your decisions. When you own your decisions, you begin to own your results. And when you own your results, you stop blaming circumstances and start creating opportunities. That is the true meaning of the 5 a.m. mindset. It is not simply about waking up earlier than everyone else. It is about becoming the person who takes full responsibility for their life, one disciplined morning at a time. There will always be reasons not to wake up early. The bed feels warmer than your ambition. The room feels too cold. You tell yourself that one more hour of sleep will not make a difference. You promise that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow has a way of becoming next week, next month, and eventually next year. That is how dreams quietly disappear, not because people lacked ability, but because they repeatedly surrendered to small moments of comfort. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches you that excuses are rarely loud. They whisper. They sound reasonable. They convince you that delaying today will somehow improve tomorrow. Yet every excuse carries a hidden price, and that price is your potential. The truth is that comfort is one of the greatest obstacles to achievement. Growth has never lived inside the comfort zone. Every meaningful accomplishment requires you to do something you do not feel like doing. The athlete trains when their body is tired. The entrepreneur continues working when the results have not yet appeared. The student studies while others are entertained. The person who succeeds understands that feelings are temporary, but discipline creates permanent rewards. They refuse to allow emotions to dictate their actions because they know emotions change with the weather, while principles remain constant. Every morning, your alarm clock presents a simple question. Will you follow your feelings or will you follow your commitment? Most people answer according to how they feel. Highly successful people answer according to the promises they have made to themselves. They understand that success is not built on occasional motivation. Motivation may inspire you to begin, but only discipline allows you to continue when the excitement fades. That is why the most reliable path to achievement is creating habits that do not depend on your mood. Remember, every excuse makes the next excuse easier. Every act of discipline makes the next disciplined decision easier as well. Your habits are always growing stronger, whether they are good or bad. If you repeatedly choose comfort, comfort becomes your identity. If you repeatedly choose growth, growth becomes your character. The decision you make this morning shapes the decision you will make tomorrow. Do not wait until life forces you to change. Choose to change while you still have the opportunity. The pain of getting out of bed at 5 a.m. lasts only a few moments, but the satisfaction of knowing you honored your commitment stays with you throughout the day. Over time, those mornings become proof that you are no longer controlled by excuses. You are guided by purpose, strengthened by discipline, and driven by a vision that is greater than temporary comfort. That is the mindset that separates those who merely wish for a better life from those who wake up every day and deliberately build one. The greatest gift of the 5 a.m. mindset is not simply that you accomplish more, it is that you become more. Anyone can chase achievements, earn money, or collect recognition, but those things alone do not guarantee a meaningful life. Real success begins with personal transformation. Every morning you rise before the world awakens, You are not just changing your schedule, you are changing your identity. You are becoming a person who values discipline over convenience, purpose over distraction, and long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. That inner transformation is far more valuable than any external reward because once your character grows stronger, success naturally follows. Many people spend their lives trying to change their circumstances without first changing themselves. They believe a better job will make them happier, more money will make them disciplined, or the right opportunity will suddenly make them confident. But life has a different order. You must first become the kind of person who deserves those opportunities. The person who develops self-control, patience, consistency, and responsibility will eventually attract greater results because their habits prepare them to handle greater responsibilities. Your future is always connected to the person you are becoming today. The quiet hours of the morning provide an opportunity to strengthen every part of your life. You can feed your mind with wisdom instead of worry. You can strengthen your body through exercise instead of neglecting your health. You can reflect on your goals instead of drifting through another day without direction. These actions may seem ordinary, but they slowly reshape the way you think, speak, and act. Eventually, people begin to notice a difference. They see more confidence in your decisions, more calmness under pressure, and more determination when challenges arise. What they do not see are the hundreds of mornings that quietly built those qualities. The world often celebrates visible success while ignoring the invisible habits that created it. People admire the successful business, the healthy body, the financial freedom, or the leadership ability, but they rarely recognize the discipline that was practiced long before the results appeared. Every early morning becomes another brick in the foundation of a remarkable life. Day after day, those bricks form a structure that can withstand setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles because it is built on character rather than convenience. Never underestimate the power of becoming 1% better every morning. Small improvements may not attract attention today, but over months and years they create extraordinary differences. The person you become through the 5 a.m. mindset is someone who no longer waits for perfect conditions. You create momentum through action. You replace excuses with responsibility. You stop hoping for a better future and begin building one with deliberate choices made before sunrise. In the end, the greatest reward is not that you woke up at 5 a.m. It is that through those quiet mornings, you became the person capable of living the life you once only imagined. The final lesson of the 5 a.m. mindset is this. Your future is not created by one extraordinary day. It is created by thousands of ordinary mornings. Every sunrise gives you a fresh opportunity to decide who you will become. Life does not ask whether you have good intentions. It responds to the habits you practice consistently. The people who achieve lasting success are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. More often than not, they are simply the ones who learn to honor their commitments long after the excitement disappeared. They understood that greatness is not a single event. It is a lifestyle built one disciplined morning at a time. There will be mornings when you feel energized and inspired. Getting out of bed will seem effortless and your goals will feel exciting. But there will also be mornings when fatigue replaces enthusiasm, when progress feels invisible, and when every excuse seems convincing. Those are the mornings that matter the most. Anyone can remain committed when everything is going well. Character is revealed when you continue moving forward despite discomfort. Your future is shaped not by what you do on your best days, but by what you choose on the days when no one would blame you for quitting. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches patience as much as discipline. Seeds planted today do not become trees tomorrow. A single workout does not transform your body. One chapter does not make you an expert. One morning of planning does not build a successful business. Yet every one of those small actions is essential because success is always the result of accumulated effort. Trust the process even when the progress is too small to notice. Every disciplined morning is a deposit into the future you are creating. And one day you will look back and realize that the life you once dreamed about was built through those quiet moments of consistency. Another powerful truth is that your example will influence others more than your words ever could. Your family, friends, children, colleagues, and even strangers notice how you live. They observe your discipline, your consistency, and your commitment. Without realizing it, you give them permission to raise their own standards. Leadership is not about giving speeches or telling people what to do. Leadership begins by becoming a living example of the values you believe in. When you consistently choose growth over comfort, your actions inspire others to believe that change is possible for them as well. So when tomorrow morning arrives and your alarm sounds, remember that it is not merely asking you to wake up early. It is inviting you to become stronger than your excuses, wiser than your yesterday, and closer to the person you were created to become. Do not think of 5 a.m. as an hour on the clock. Think of it as a daily appointment with your future. Protect that appointment with determination, honor it with discipline, and approach it with gratitude. If you continue to win that first battle every morning, the victories that follow throughout your life will no longer be a matter of chance. They will be the natural result of the person you have chosen to become. One sunrise, one decision, and one disciplined day at a time. As we come to the end of this message, remember one simple truth. The 5 a.m. mindset is not about waking up earlier than everyone else. It is about waking up to your own potential. Every morning offers a choice. You can remain where you are, repeating the same habits and expecting different results, or you can rise with purpose and begin creating the life you truly desire. Your future will never be determined by your wishes alone. It will always be shaped by the decisions you make when no one is watching. Never underestimate the power of one disciplined morning. One morning becomes one productive day. One productive day becomes one successful week. One successful week becomes one transformative year. And those years eventually become a life filled with purpose, confidence, achievement, and fulfillment. Greatness is not reserved for a gifted few. It belongs to those who are willing to do the ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. So, when your alarm rings tomorrow morning, don't think of it as an interruption. Think of it as an invitation to become stronger than your excuses, wiser than your fears, and closer to the person you were meant to be. Rise before doubt has a chance to speak. Rise before distractions steal your focus. Rise because every sunrise is a fresh opportunity to rewrite your story. Remember, success is not waiting somewhere in the future. It is being built today in the quiet moments of discipline, in the small choices that no one applauds, and in the habits you refuse to compromise. Master your mornings, and you will master your days. Master your days, and you will master your destiny. The next sunrise is coming whether you are ready or not. The only question is this: will you greet it with excuses, or will you greet it with purpose? The choice is yours, and that choice has the power to change everything. Thank you for listening. If this message inspired you, don't let it end here. Carry these lessons into tomorrow morning. Take that first step before the world wakes up, and prove to yourself that your future begins with the decision you make today. Your best life is not behind you. It is waiting on the other side of your discipline. Rise early, stay committed, and never stop becoming the very best version of yourself.